Well, hi, it's Jennifer, and welcome to today's video. It is day 4 of my Fairbanks trip with my husband after our daughter's wedding. We are getting ready to go. I have come down with some type of cold. I have been so sick, but really the worst of it was yesterday evening and kind of into the night, but I'm not feeling too horrible. We're packing up. It's about 10:30. We decided that we're going to take the Richardson Highway and the Glenn Highway back home. Originally, we were going to take the Parks, which is another highway that you can travel to Anchorage, but it was so stunningly beautiful on the way up that we want to just go back the way that we came. So I will be taking you along with me today, and I look forward to spending time together. All right, see you in the next clip. I am back home now as I'm doing this voiceover. It's several days later, and I did continue to go quite downhill, but this trip back to Anchorage was beautiful. Look at these pigeons living their best life. I don't know why the hotel does not clean up after these pigeons, but when you walk in, there is feathers and pigeon excrement all around the entranceway. But they run like those bird sounds that's supposed to scare birds away, like on an audio loop. The pigeons don't care. They even have those grates, but the pigeons have made their nest all around. And of course, as we're getting ready to head on the road, we are stopping at North Pole for McDonald's. And all of the light posts and signage have these Candy Cane themed wrapped poles, which is pretty cool. And that's all throughout the city of North Pole. Isn't this just a stunning lookout? We are overlooking the Tanana River Basin right here, and it's such a beautiful spot to pull over. While we were filming, there were a couple of ladies who had their vehicle backed up and their tailgate down, and they were eating lunch overlooking this gorgeous area. It was absolutely stunning. You can see that there are wild roses that are still blooming, even though we are definitely past peak autumn at this point. And John and I were trying to be diligent in our travel back and not pull over so much, but it took us about maybe 9.5 hours to get home, and it did take us about 9.5 hours to get to Fairbanks. It was so stunning on the way up. It was also so stunning on the way down, although not nearly as bright. We definitely experienced peak autumn on our way up 4 days ago at this point. And it was more overcast today, but it did allow us to spend more time filming the pipeline, which is something that we really wanted to focus on. And right now we're getting ready to climb under this bridge. And of course, I'm a lover of graffiti. So I love discovering graffiti. I love filming around graffiti. It's so cool. But you'll see that eventually I'm going to take us to the other side of the bridge, and you'll see how the pipeline is suspended over this particular river. The pipeline goes underground, above ground. It's supported on the ground. It's lifted above the ground. It is quite an engineering feat. 800 miles of pipeline, and it goes through rugged Alaska. And hats off to the people who built this thing and had to go through the elements and the rugged countryside of Alaska to build this pipeline. It is absolutely fascinating. And here I am. I'm like, oh wait, I was already recording. And I am trying to find the light, but also trying to get the really cool graffiti around us. I love the colors. I love the industry of it. I love the rebelliousness of graffiti. I just think it's absolutely fantastic and so cool to capture. John and I spent about 15 minutes or so in this area, perusing around, recording the graffiti, recording the pipeline. And I'm about to say here how the graffiti is really fantastic in this space right here. And John's already up waiting for me, and I wanted to capture a few more moments. And now I'm going to be making my way up through this little pathway, and we are going to be on the road again. We are going to be getting back on the road here in a little bit, continuing south on the Richardson Highway, and we will be getting to a point where we will be above the tree line. And in the tundra areas where trees do not grow, right here we're near the Army base, Fort Greely. And what's interesting about the trees here is they are very stunted looking. The birch trees, the poplar, the aspen, the pine trees are stunted. This particular area, they're not as stunted, but down the road away, we really couldn't pull over safely. They're just so short looking, and that is due to the permafrost. And if you're familiar with permafrost, it is a permanent frozen layer that's anywhere from a couple of inches to a couple of feet below the ground. So there's shallow root system for the trees, and that's why they're so stunted. But I feel like this video isn't quite able to capture how unique these trees look in person. And also, it's a very short growing season here with extreme temperatures. And here we are. We've also found another pipeline area to pull over. Now, there's a lot of areas where you can walk right up to the pipeline. There's no restrictions. You can, in fact, they even have the warning sign saying, don't climb on the pipeline because you might fall. It's just such a funny thing. Not like this is government property. Don't stand on this. Don't touch it. It's don't climb on this because you might fall and get hurt. Anyway, this was a particular area that we were not able to go near the pipeline, and you can see that it goes underneath the ground here. So we've seen it suspended above water, and now it is going underground, passing under the Richardson Highway. And eventually I'm going to take us over to where you can see it on the other side. These fins that you see that surround the pipeline, what they do is they help dissipate the heat from the pipeline so it does not melt the permafrost. I mean, isn't it just a fascinating piece of engineering design? It's absolutely amazing. And if you are familiar with filming with your Android, when the light is overcast like this, the cell phone really struggles to find the light and to bring the vibrancy with what the eyeball sees. And here I am trying to get some good light of my husband and I. Now we're about to cross the road so you can see where the pipeline goes underneath. And once again, for some reason in this particular area, we were not able to get near the pipeline, but we will have plenty of opportunity in the future to walk right up to it in the video. Here is a view of the pipeline a ways away from the highway. And as we're going along our journey, there'll be places where the pipeline will be near the road, like in this particular area, and then places where it goes far away from the road. But here was an area where we were able to pull in, you're able to walk around. There's no like don't go near the pipeline signs or anything like that. You just can't take your personal vehicle through here. But you can see you could walk right up to it, and it is quite amazing. So sometimes the pipeline will be very low to the ground. You'll see that coming up in another area where we pull over, and the pipeline it's on these steel beams, but it's really low to the ground. There'll be times where it's lifted like this, not too high, times where it goes underground, times where it's elevated higher. It's really fascinating.
Go right to it.
Yeah, the bugs are, they're vicious. And they go right for the face too. It felt great to get out and walk around and explore the pipeline. We're walking uphill right now here, and I am definitely feeling my head cold here at this area. My nose at this point has been pouring, but of course I had to get out and take advantage of this really cool opportunity to walk along it. But I am trying not to breathe too hard walking up this hill. Ooh, oh, that's cool. Good job, Peter. Oh my gosh. As you can see, this is a wonderful pullover where you can explore the pipeline and get up close to it and marvel at its ingenuity. And in video 2 of this trip, in an area there in Fairbanks, there's a wonderful visitor center too where you can walk up and tour around the pipeline. And I created 2 moody videos, one of the pipeline from the Fairbanks location where you can walk right up to it, and then also this area too. It was just so much fun. Also, the pipeline is made to maneuver back and forth along those rails right there if there is an earthquake, which I also thought fascinating. So it's made to shift and move in a safe way, because we do get a lot of earthquakes, and we have had some big earthquakes here. This particular area is a favorite pull-off point and a favorite photography moment. This particular mountain here is called Rainbow Mountain. It is in the Delta Mountains, which is like a sub-mountain group of the Alaska Range. I don't know if I'm saying that quite right. I'm definitely not a geography expert, but we took pictures on the way up. If you see the first travel video upwards toward Fairbanks, we pulled over there and took pictures of that. And now, of course, on the way back down, we always have to pull over. Although this time we pulled over and drove along the river basin. And yep, so this is Rainbow Mountain right here. And it is a famous pullover spot. And it's just beautiful. I wish the sun would have been shining to really show off the beautiful colors. On the way up, it was overcast, and on the way down, but the clouds were looking exceptionally beautiful. This is a great view, not only of the pipeline that you see there, but also the rugged tundra, the interior Alaska views above the tree line. And yep, look at that pipeline traveling along, and it is going to go underground here. And as we've traveled along, we see the pipeline is now alongside the road pretty close by. And we've noticed that there are several pullovers that you could take to go right up to the pipeline. And that is what we're looking for right now, looking for that right spot to pull over. And we've just found it. There's a fish sign right here. Here's another wonderful view of the tundra in interior Alaska. This is such a great picture of it. I also loved this area. It was a sea of black spruce, and black spruce is perfect for tundra conditions. But then you would see these areas of color where the birch and aspen and poplar were able to grow, and it was pretty cool. John and I almost missed a most glorious rainbow. Once we passed through this rain cloud, we were out of it and the sun was shining, and a car passed us by and somebody was hanging out of their window with a camera. And my husband joked and said, "Look, they're doing exactly what we're doing." And I thought, there must be a rainbow behind us. Wasn't that just a glorious rainbow? I am so glad my husband saw that person hanging out of their car with their camera. We are now on the highway of Glen Allen, which starts in the city of Glen Allen. And we've got about 3 to 4 hours left to drive. The sun is setting. It's getting a little bit darker, but I was taking a few moments to capture the last minute views before it got too dark. I hope you enjoyed this video and driving south to Anchorage with me and seeing the beautiful pipeline. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.